What's up, Waluigi? Trent from Trentendo here. We got a brand new video for you guys today where we're going to talk a little bit more about Hogwarts Legacy and how we think this game might sell on the Nintendo Switch. There's a few different factors going into this that I think could have some effect on the units that are moved for the Switch version specifically. So before we hop into that though, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video so you guys are kept up to date with everything going on here at Trentendo. Let's see if we can't hit 20 likes on this video. It really does help out. I appreciate it. And without further ado, let's hop right into this discussion. Now, as I mentioned, there's a few different factors that head into this thought of how well will the Nintendo Switch version of Hogwarts Legacy sell. The first being is the delay that it saw, and not only the delay, but the extended delay. This game was supposed to release in July, which was already a delay from April, supposedly, or even if you want to go back to February, because we never really knew when the Switch version was supposed to come out, and then once they delayed everything outside of the current gen systems, with PS4 and Xbox One kind of getting the boot as well. We didn't know when that was going to come out, because when that release date came, the Switch version was not included. And then it got bumped to July, and then it subsequently to November 14th. So it does look like this game is coming out though this November. We don't have to worry about any more delays. But with that being said, this delay I think will hit the way that this thing sells. It may not be huge, and as I think about it and more, I don't know how much of an impact it really will have. I think that there have been a lot of people who have been holding out for the Nintendo Switch version of Hogwarts Legacy. Now, that being said though, I do think that there was a lot of people, and it may be a minority still, but I think there were people that did go out and purchase additional consoles just so that they could play Hogwarts Legacy. Now, like I said, I've been on a Facebook group for Hogwarts Legacy specifically, and at launch I did see several people, not just some, it felt like quite a bit to be honest, but they did reach out asking questions, hey, I just bought a PS5, hey, I just bought an Xbox, how do I set this up? And there's a lot of people like that typically maybe weren't console gamers, that Harry Potter brought them out of the woodwork. They wanted to live this Hogwarts Legacy adventure, and so they went out and purchased a new system so they could specifically play this game. I think a lot of people too, there were some people in that same group that, they had a Nintendo Switch, or they had a PS4, or they had a Xbox One, and they didn't want to wait for the delay. They wanted to play this game at launch, and so they went out and purchased a new console. Now, I think that these people are obviously in the minority though. It's very difficult to come up with an extra $300 to $500, I think, for a lot of people to justify to go spend on a new console for one game. So I don't know how that affects. I do think it takes some away from the Nintendo Switch version, but I don't think it might be as much as you would think. Now, the next kind of factor in here for outside of that is you have to think about what games are coming out alongside Hogwarts Legacy on the Nintendo Switch. And the first and foremost, you have to look at Super Mario RPG. Now, this game is being hyped up as Nintendo's holiday big title, essentially. There's nothing else really. There's no Zeldas, there's no Pokemon, there's no Mario, or mainline Mario, I guess you should say, because this is a Mario game. But Mario RPG is the big title, and even though it is a remake of the SNES classic, I think that this game will do well, and I think it may steal some from Hogwarts Legacy. Now, I don't know, again, how much this affects. I think we will still see some carryover as well for both Hogwarts Legacy and Super Mario RPG. I think that, with that being said, I think going into Christmas, into Black Friday, to things like that, I think you're going to see people picking up both versions, both Hogwarts Legacy and Super Mario RPG. And if they don't pick up Hogwarts Legacy per se when at launch, maybe they get it for Christmas. Someone else buys it for them, or maybe you buy it for a friend or your family member or something. So I think that there is opportunities for this game to sell well at launch, even though it may come out with a Mario RPG as well. So we'll have to keep our eye on that, because that could be a big factor as well. Like I said, money is hard to come by nowadays, and it's kind of hard to justify maybe picking up two titles. You're going to have to pick one. So what do you pick? Do you pick up Hogwarts Legacy earlier in the week, or do you pick up Super Mario RPG later in the week? So I think that definitely something that could have an effect on how Hogwarts Legacy sells is, the fact that Mario RPG is also releasing in that same week. And last but definitely not least on some of these things that may affect how this game sells is going to be performance and reviews. Now, we haven't really seen much of how this game will run on a Nintendo Switch. We have just a quick little ad spot that we've seen in a previous video, of a 30-second trailer from Nintendo that dropped in Japan, and that was kind of it. We do have our screenshots as well. We've seen on the eShop how this compares to what this looks like on a PS5. We've seen the side-by-side comparisons. I'll throw these up here as well for you. You can take a look if you haven't seen those. But if this game does not get good reviews, if it performs well, if it's not able to run smoothly on a Nintendo Switch, I think that's going to kill it. And I think this right here is the biggest thing that will determine how Hogwarts Legacy sells on the Nintendo Switch. If the game can perform and if it looks as good as it does, I don't think that the way that the game looks will be a factor. I think that it'll look okay from the screenshots we've seen. I think it'll be fine. Switch users are used to seeing things that are downgraded slightly from what we see on an Xbox or a PlayStation or a PC. And I think that this looks fairly decent for what we would expect to see. But if this game runs poorly, and if reviews come out saying that this game runs poor, don't pick it up, people are not going to pick it up, and they're just going to hold out for Super Mario RPG, as we mentioned. So if this game does run well, I think you're going to see it sell really well. I think if the results come out and people are excited, and the reviewers saying that this is an excellent title and it's a fun experience on the Nintendo Switch, I think people will pick it up. Now, I think there may even be people who double dip. Personally, I played this game on the Steam Deck. I'm probably going to pick it up again on Nintendo Switch just to see how it runs. Even if the reviews come out that are poor, I kind of want to see how it runs for myself. I'll make sure I can get that out for you guys as well, so you can see for yourselves from some of my footage potentially. But I think that there's going to be people who double dip. There's going to be a lot of people who liked the ambience of the game. Who liked being able to, there is some replayability in this with, being able to choose your different houses. So if you hadn't played it, in a while, if you played your one run through, it might be time, it's been almost a year at this point, not quite, it's 9 months or so. It might be time for another run through as a different house. And I think that if you decide to do that on the Nintendo Switch, would be a great place for it. I think that there are a lot of Harry Potter fans out there, and I think that the crossover with Nintendo is probably pretty big. So personally, I think this game sells somewhere in the 5 to 8 million copy range in the first year or so, especially coming out at the time it does with the Christmas and with holiday season. I could see this being a very good launch for Nintendo. I don't think it'll be, to the likes of some of Nintendo's first-party games, but I think that this could be a very big deal for Nintendo and for Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy has sold roughly 15-ish million copies, probably a little bit more at this point, across all the other platforms. So if they could sell another 5 to 8 on just the Nintendo Switch, that would be huge, and that would be a pretty big chunk of the total sales for the game in general. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, though. Do you think this game will sell in that range, or do you think it would be higher, lower? What other factors do you see potentially making this game either sell more or less than that? But I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Let me know down in the comments, like I said, your thoughts. I'd love to get that conversation going back and forth with you. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, catch you later.